Okay, folks, next, a very, very important point I want to cover for you really quickly. It's really important, and that is whether or not you should take your antibiotics orally. These are pills, right? Or in China, it's very common for them to recommend, and it's very common for them on a daily basis to use I.V.drip, okay, in your arm, which is what? Inconvenience, because it takes a half a day. You have to go to the hospital. You know, you got to go there every single day for typically 3 days, if not 4 days in a row. So it's faster, but you have to go to the hospital. So it's like, oh no, I don't want to do that because I have to work, you know. It's inconvenient. Do it if you can. That's from my experience, because it's known that medicine through IV is much stronger for your system to knock the bug out than it is if you just take the pills. This is known. Find me a doctor that would tell you otherwise. So, but it's inconvenient. And so by pills, you have to take them longer. Doctor said to me, this happened to me, a very specific case. 3 years ago, I got very, very bad cough. Turned out to be pneumonia. I went, it was miserable for weeks. She said, lung CT scan. Lung CT scan, you've got pneumonia. You've got infection in your lungs, not just your bronchitis, not just your bronchial tubes. Okay? She says, I want you on antibiotics for 2 weeks if you're taking the oral. You're a foreigner. You don't want to come into the hospital for the next 4 or 5 days for the IV. I go, oh, no, I'm too busy. Typical stupid foreigner, right? Okay. Oh, no. Okay. So I took them for 2 weeks. Went back to see her. She said, I want to make sure your pneumonia is cleared out. Took another CT scan. She said, okay, it's cleared out. Are you still coughing? I said, a little bit. She says, stay on the antibiotics for another week. 3 weeks total. I stopped after the 3 weeks. 2 weeks later, that damn cough came back. I went back to the doctor and she looked at me and what do you think she said? She says, are you ready to do the IV now? Which is what I recommended in the first place because the oral antibiotics are weaker. I was like, yes, now, immediately. Okay, so I.V.drip bottle, each bottle, big bottle, 3 hours, and they put it was like, I remember seeing the prescription, man, it was like something like 10,000 milligrams of cephalosporin, per day, which your body can tolerate higher doses when it's by IV, etc., etc. Don't quote me, I'm not a doctor. I don't remember what it was, 5,000, 2,000, 10,000, but it was a lot more than the daily oral dose. That's the point, okay? You with me? And then in my case that time, and she said, I think it was 4 days in a row. Sometimes with I.V.drip, they say 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Not usually, I think, more than 5 days on I.V.drip because it's a lot stronger. That's the story on I.V.drips versus whether or not you should take the oral antibiotics. Okay? Keep it in mind. It's another very, very important point, and it's another difference about between Western and the Chinese hospital system. All right. Thanks very much.